Perhaps that's why there's been such a concerted effort by some in the mainstream media to delegitimize this election. Perhaps that's why there's been such a concerted effort by some in the mainstream media to delegitimize this election and to demean our incoming administration.
Notice that he used the phrase delegitimize the election. That's very important. I'm going to tell you why in just a bit. But first, you need to know this. Mike Pence was the head of the Trump transition team, and Katie McFarland worked for Mike Pence as a transition advisor. At the end of December, the Obama administration announced new sanctions against Russia as their punishment for their meddling in the U.S. election, including expelling 35 Russian diplomats. Meanwhile, Team Trump was gathered at Mar-a-Lago with a different idea. They didn't want to punish Russia. They decided to reach out to Russia to assure Russia that punishing them was not one of the incoming Trump administration's goals. However, what we don't know is why. Why didn't Trump want to punish Russia? Is it because they helped him with the election? That's what I think. Anyway, Team Trump wanted to be sure that Russia did not overreact to the Obama sanctions and escalate diplomatic tensions. The details of the Trump team's plan were put in an email written by Katie McFarland, who sent them to Thomas Bossert, another transition advisor, who is now President Trump's Homeland Security advisor. In the email to Bossert, McFarland says that sanctions over Russian election meddling were intended to, quote, lure Trump into a trap of saying something in defense of Russia, and were aimed at, quote, discrediting Trump's victory by saying it was due to Russian interference. This message of Team Trump's Russian support would be conveyed by Mike Flynn in a phone call to the Russian ambassador, Sergei Kislyak, on December 29, 2016, the email said. In his reply, Bossert urges all of Team Trump's top advisors to, quote, defend election legitimacy now. However, Bossert didn't just reply to Katie McFarland. No, he also forwarded the original email and his response to Sean Spicer, Reince Priebus, Steve Bannon, and Mike Flynn.
No, I have nothing to do with Russia. I have, John, how many times do I have to say it? Are you a smart man? I have nothing to do with Russia.
As of December 29th, 2016, Sean Spicer, Reince Priebus, Steve Bannon, and Mike Flynn are all now aware that Mike Flynn is going to have a call with the Russian ambassador and that he is going to undermine U.S. sanctions designed to punish Russia for interfering in the presidential election by telling the Russian ambassador not to overreact to the Obama sanctions because when Donald Trump takes office, they will be reversed. Let me repeat that. On December 29th, Spicer, Priebus, Bannon, and Flynn conspired to undermine the punishment the Obama administration had imposed on Russia for meddling in the U.S. election. That conspiracy is a crime. It's a violation of the Logan Act, which makes it a crime for unauthorized persons to negotiate with foreign governments that have a dispute with the United States.
I have nothing to do with Russia. I don't have any jobs in Russia. I'm all over the world, but we're not involved in Russia.
The second thing that you have to know is this. On paper, it appears that Mike Pence, the head of the transition team, is not aware that his subordinates are conspiring to undermine American sanctions. However, is that likely? Did Spicer, Priebus, Bannon, and Flynn keep their criminal activity a secret from their boss, the incoming vice president? I don't think so. If only there was some proof that Pence knew what everyone was up to. Oh, that's right. Actually, there is proof. Remember the language Katie McFarland used in her email to Tom Bossert? She said the Obama sanctions against Russia were aimed at discrediting Trump's victory by saying it was due to Russian interference. And Tom Bossert's reply used the words, defend election legitimacy now. Where have I heard the sentiment and words discredit Trump's victory and defend election legitimacy before? Oh, that's right. They are among the first words that Mike Pence says in his first press conference as Vice President-elect of the United States.
Perhaps that's why there's been such a concerted effort by some in the mainstream media to delegitimize this election and to demean our incoming administration. And the irresponsible decision of a few news organizations to run with a false and unsubstantiated report when most news organizations resisted the temptation to propagate this fake news can only be attributed to media bias, an attempt to demean the president-elect and our incoming administration, and the American people are sick and tired of it.
The question that needs to be answered is this: why hasn't Melania alerted the police to her own kidnapping? Well, that and why did Trump's team lie nearly 100 times? That I found, and right, it's probably more. Is it because Trump owes Russia, its oligarchs, or banks that Russia controls billions of dollars? Is Trump being blackmailed because the Russians have a videotape of him with a prostitute? Or is it worse than that? Do they have video of him dancing at his housekeeper's daughter's quinceañera? That would be bad for Trump. Or did Trump agree to eliminate economic sanctions against Russia in exchange for their help to win the presidency? Remember, here at Be Less Stupid, we have found nearly 100 of Team Trump's Russia lies. I'm going to post 5 new ones every Monday and 5 more on Thursday. And they're going to be in chronological order. And you can see them all at our website. That's factbox.tv. Or better yet, you can get them delivered right to your timeline by liking our Facebook page. That's all you got to do, like our Facebook page. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing this content with your friends on social media. For Be Less Stupid, I'm the host, John Hotchkiss.